Whew, wow. I did not think I would go back to even talking about it, even doing another video about Diablo. Well, that's because of how much fun I've been having on this game. This game is so freaking amazing. Even when it released. Now, y'all gonna have to excuse some noise in the back. I'm getting ready for my cruise trip for Florida, and so is my family. They're just in the background, just getting everything packed up. Yeah, my bad about that. So, let's talk about Diablo 4. So, for those who are a big fan of my YouTube channel and been following me for a long while, y'all should be aware that I reviewed Diablo last year around June, and the points I made with the whole game was not about my experience through the other Diablo games, because I was actually new to Diablo when a good old friend of mine told me about the game releasing, because he was a big fan. So Diablo 4 was the very first game I've ever tried out, and because I loved it so much, it put me into a lot of new RPG genres that I may have missed out on, other than Summoner. Summoner was actually the starting point of me trying out Diablo if it wasn't for my friend. But I've enjoyed it so much. I've enjoyed Diablo 4 so much to the point where I gave it the highest score possible. I gave it an A+. And people disagreed with it. But those disagreements didn't show up until much later. It didn't show up until much later because I guess Blizzard was making some updates, making some patches, making some seasons into the project that was not only giving people's opinions on the game more lower scores, but it was beginning to lose its flavor. And I agreed. Because the game was beginning to go to a whole new level of distasteful judgment, and it was so bad to the point where the builds was beginning to get more fucked up, the classes were beginning to get more fucked up, even the seasons were beginning to get less playable, to the point where I stopped playing Diablo for a good 5 months. I tried one of the seasons, and one of the seasons was so fucked up to the point where it was crazy, and I was practicing on one of my builds too, and for some reason I wasn't hitting as hard as I normally was with my barbarian, and I was just getting killed so quickly, and I spent like 17 hours straight trying to get my build perfected for one of the YouTube classes that I kept looking at, and I even downloaded and saved one of those videos, and it didn't even go through. So I was like, no, I'm done with Diablo. I'm done with this game. But I still didn't regret what I was saying with my review. That review happened before those patches happened, so I still hold that review for a torch. If people want to check out that review, it's on the description box. But then later on, like much later, I guess Blizzard was beginning to realize that people was losing interest into the game. So not only did they fix a lot of things on the game, patch it up, but they was beginning to literally listen to the feedback, and they fixed a hell of a lot of things. They even brought back some of the patches that they have taken away for our builds, so we can have our classes back. And I'm like, thank God. So my barbarian is not only hitting harder, but they actually added some features to the barbarian that made them more of a badass. Like when the barbarian did the war cry, they had her. I had a female barbarian. They had the female barbarian scream like an oblivion, like she was like literally in a rally of death, and she was like obliterating all the enemies at one go. They took that away, not the war cry, but just the element where she would scream. It was like, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why would they do that? But now they bring it back, so I was like, okay, cool. They fix a lot of things with the barbarian as well to make her even more stronger. They fix a lot of things with a lot of classes with the characters, models and stuff. And they fix so much to the point where I like tiptoed to the game, and I was like, okay, let me see. But yeah, they brought back the things that I mentioned, and I forgot how much fun I had playing Diablo, to the point where not only that it has relived my experience again, but I was even having more fun than normal, to the point where I did something that I have not done in a project in a long time, and buy the accessories. I bought the accessories of Diablo. I bought the figures. I bought the fucking little Funko Pop or whatever. I bought so much stuff. I even bought the Diablo manual and the graphic novels, just so I can know more about the lore whenever I get a chance to read them. I even bought the freaking treasure chest. I bought a treasure chest from Diablo. What the hell am I gonna do with a fucking treasure chest? Well, I could use that as a safe. But I was just going all AWOL with Diablo, and I was like, oh my god, like, I need to calm this shit down. But for people that has been following Diablo for until now, they would agree of how I feel about it. I love this game so much. And what I love most about the game is the fact that they have fucked it up and they have fixed it. So it shows me that Blizzard is willing to pay attention, especially when their pockets is getting attacked. I haven't had this much fun playing a game like this since Cyberpunk. I remember when I was playing Cyberpunk so much to the point where I was showing people my build, my class, my character, when I was undressing my character and just having my character have so much casual sex and just driving around. I think that's what kind of made my streams grow. But at the same time, Diablo kind of like took that away from me and just made me just be in a more immersive state of me being a gamer. And people have followed me with the whole Diablo franchise. I've helped people build up their characters and stuff and helped them with their classes and stuff. But at the same time, I've lost some people too, and it was actually their loss. Some people didn't want to play it no more because I've gotten too far from them, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Diablo is not like that, where you get so far in the class and you feel as if you're missing out. Diablo is not one of those games. If you know a friend that is in a higher class than you, then it's your lucky day. They can help you go through these dungeons easily and fight these hard-ass bosses. You can just sit there and you can just get free XP. I tried to explain that with a couple of my friends, but I guess it wasn't in their interest. So I was like, you know what? At least you ain't slowing me down. So I'm glad that you told me this in the future. And that's one thing I like about this game too, is that the fact that by being a multiplayer fluid game, I was getting added like crazy. A lot of people was adding me, not just because of how I was playing, but also because people know me from YouTube. So people was like, oh, you're the Critic teacher, let me go ahead and add you. The lucky fuckers that added me, they was trying to see if we can play other games like Fortnite and Call of Duty, but I'm like, dude, no. I don't play those type of games. Games like Diablo is a game that you would normally see me play. But other than that, man, I've been having a blast playing this game, and a lot of people have been asking me what is like my favorite class to play on this game. So far, I've been having a good time playing as the Rogue. Now, the Rogue was one of the easiest fucked up builds on the game, kind of one of the most glass cannon builds. But man, if you level up your Rogue correctly, use a Paragon board correctly, get the stats done right, you're gonna have a fun time playing with a fucking Rogue. I love the Rogue so damn much, and I maxed out 3 characters. I maxed out the Rogue, I maxed out the Sorcerer, and I maxed out the Barbarian. But I've been so attached to the Rogue to the point where I got my side bitches just looking at me like, okay, whatever. The Rogue is so freaking addicting because it's a whole different play style. It's like close to the Barbarian when you're using weapons, but unlike a Necromancer and a Sorcerer, you're not really like summoning anything. You're just using a crossbow, shooting enemies, and adding elemental stats to it. But with my Rogue, I'm just using a Heartseeker. I'm not using no poison, no ice. Well, I am using ice to slow the enemies down. And for people that is familiar with this build, they will tell you that the Rogue is the way to go. So I think that's kind of where like the whole game dictates. Is like, okay, the game was bad back then, so I'm not gonna go back to it. And I kind of get it. I do feel like when you have a bad taste in your mouth, it's kind of hard for you to take another bite to it. But I feel like when you spend money on a company and the company doesn't listen and they just double down and just make you just take what's being fed to you, then that's when you don't go back. But with Blizzard, they listen. They listen to all the feedback, and we got another season on the way, and I cannot wait. When I seen that trailer, I'm like, holy shit peppers. So, for those who left Diablo and didn't come back to it, and they're wondering why I'm playing this game so much, hey, you're lost. You would never. I don't think you'll never ever go to that excitement again. But if for those who are watching this but for those who is watching this video, and they keep wondering why I keep talking about Diablo so much, why I keep making so much blogs about Diablo so much, why am I using so much recommendations about Diablo so much, why am I showing so much posts about Diablo, why am I showing much streams about Diablo, it's because they've learned their lesson. They have make this game great again. I know that's a bad pun right now, since I'm not trying to be political, because that's not what this channel is about, but Diablo 4 is a great game. It's a damn good game. It's like compared to Diablo 3, 2, and 1, and I have not played none of those. So to a fan that has played all of them, for an old comer, listen to them. But for a newcomer like me, and you're just on the fence to try this out, try out Diablo, man. And then add me, and then I can probably help you out with your build as well. But that's basically it. I just wanted to show you guys like my whole expectation of Diablo, my final take on it. And above all, for people that's been messaging me and sending me on DMs and commenting on my Diablo review, or even on my stream saying that, you know, the game is sucked, the game is bad, why are you still talking about this, why'd you give it a higher rating? And for those who are saying that, oh well, the game is good now, the game is all right now, how do I feel about it? This is how I feel about it. I feel ecstatic, I feel great, I feel overwhelmed. Diablo is one of the 3 games I play now when I get home from work or when I'm just chilling. If it's not Diablo, then y'all already know it's Summoner. It's Summoner, heads fucking down. If it's not Summoner, then what's this other game I've been playing? Let me see. Oh, Frontier Hunter. Frontier Hunter, Urza's Wheel of Fortune. That is a good side-scrolling RPG, etchy, jiggle, physics game. I'm going to be reviewing that when I get back from my trip. That game is so freaking good. It's great. It's a great game. I don't know if they got a trailer for it. I'm gonna have to see if they do. If they do, I'm gonna send do clips to it. But yeah, I highly recommend you playing that. I highly recommend you guys going back to Diablo, and I highly recommend you guys playing Summoner. Play Summoner. Other than that, that's all I have to say. Stay tuned for my other videos from the brain of Hugo. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this one.